Jumden Gombo Jawara La Jan Zalo Gangalo Jumi Jani Danandara Survey. Junior Donga Jazu Jirni Gita Garalawamza Ganda de Bedor Maramando Dungra Jizervi. Rozogan Lava Judarje Allah Juja Danzon, Rudraja Jonia Monia Loni Jijando Domzaj. Maru Manzer Dinguramniga Junior Jumza Rajana, Doni Dajan Sabjin Dajan Dani Zodia Jiduk. Jujal Jada Jenny Jajim Dalu Mazir Jahurayan Landa, Umara Bazanada, Umara Bazanada, Umara Bazanada. Umara Bazanada, Umara Bazanada, Umara Bazanada, Umara Bazanada, Umara Bazanada. Umara Bazanada, Tedun Jim Jiro was a regime, Dalu the Mambara Zandi. Guadan Danju Jolo Dobai, Lodu Bubino, Jeda Soro. Yonji Jimbo to the new Mejan, Zone Morum Jimbo Nagat, Pagaradangan Zandu Jemodo, Domba de Jala Janzalo. 야, tani terang azo rugba 주소고 tani 로만 넘바 탄치 라 도머 tani 시조 델락은 삼지지가 연지.
So first of all, I'd like to say good afternoon and extend warm greetings to all of the students of Rigpa who have come here today.
tani azo 나는 걸로 대라양더니 영르바 주소고 나라용네 되는 아주 참말라 추처 된지 샤지레송 되니 달로 양양길 양달라 타니바 용네 되니 추처 샤지 된지 고급 야보숑송 되니 베 가보숑송.
So that I had the opportunity to come last year and give a teaching here, and now this year I've had the chance once again to come here and give a second teaching is something that I'm really very happy about.
Tani rugba chusogo tani lama sorgirimboche na tani ngatsu lama yujin norada tani kong namba haleba tani tunang tak nibore tani narang soyenang tadang rabogo tarta tani pe tani taga tunang tani tamboze gonandra tak nibo tani yins.
Sogyur Rinpoche and Khenpo Jimi Phuntsok were extremely close in their hearts, and this is also how I feel and we feel in respect of Sogyur Rinpoche.
Tendi indi teni ngacho yang sacha galan jona yang teni rupa chusoko teni chusoko yosati so nangla penatari kampara in nanja teni teni roju shongso teni namjin teni roju korkup teni yongand te pe kabo yos.
So as I've travelled around different places, such as just a few days ago in Canberra, to have the opportunity to give teachings in Rigpa centres is something I'm really glad about.
Teni terang ngacho chuche shepi tomar 다 ngacho Rigpa chusoko teni loma ina tsama loma nyangbare teni tsama chuba teni nyangba teni tatare te yena ngacho chuba 추측 된 고마드니 샤탕다 보시네 되는 애들이시니 샤크인스.
So before we begin the teaching to this afternoon, I'd just like to comment that being here in the Rigpa Centre, most of you will be old students of Rigpa, and for this reason I would like to deliver my teaching in a style that's oriented towards sincere practitioners.
teni rugba chutsogina loma tanchi teni chupa nyangba yemba matsu teni tsama sanga dorji thabala lo jong shenken zoba chimbola nyamlen shenken ta tindi ta res.
And in addition to being old students or students who have been studying the Dharma for some time, you're also students of the Vajrayana and practitioners of the Dzogchen lineage.
Tani ta tindi indi nga tso chuchusya nanja gomgyam nanja tani nga tso nyemba jang nanja gang dang gang yen na yang nga tso mangji ngoma de tani shanchip ko simte yo go re.
So, since this is the case, regardless of what kind of practice we're doing, whether it's meditation or chanting mantras, then our basic foundation upon which all this takes place is our bodhicitta.
Tani zoba chimbo zeyate kandis ko loma kandis ko tani da nyamselenya ko tani chu tani zrezena tani lama la pe tapa yabo yonken tani chula tani pe yichi yabo yonken ko tani ko loma zgo re.
In respect of what kind of student is suitable to study the Dzogchen teachings, it's said that the student needs to have great faith in the Dharma as well as great faith in their teacher.
Tani lo kashi ga tani gongla tani ngarang tani inji ga Oxford tani Agong Rinpoche ga loma tani mambo zita two songs.
A few years ago, I visited Oxford University and had the chance to meet with former students of Agong Rinpoche.
Tani Agong Rinpoche lama te so sama mang chi shu tani kwarang so lama tenni lo ngapji in zenkan, lo jibji in zenkan, tani lo simshi in zenkan, o tani kyang kyang rendus.
And among these students, most of them had studied with Agong Rinpoche, had relied on him as a teacher for periods between 30 years, 40 years, and 50 years.
Tani kwarang so lama chigla tenni, tani sim tambo shi ni, tani yin rambo la tani chula lo zhong shi, tani nyamlin shi, tani shenken tani ko sim tambo moschigla tani moschig jisen zhang, lama shig jisen zhang, lama shigla taba shi, tani sim yerwa meba shenken tani rendus.
And these students were the kind of students who, for their entire lifetime, had relied on a teacher, relied on the same teacher in an unfaltering and constant and stable way.
And
in my understanding, those of you here today are probably like this.
Tani sanga dorji thabaze ata khabar to zoba chimbo shagja chimbo ze ati ndi chude the tindi go ma tambu tindi z kanyam selenya go chu tindi zre.
And the teachings of the Vajrayana, and in particular the Mahamudra teachings and the teachings of Dzogchen, they really require stable students like this.
Tani zoba chimbo khabar to sanga dorji thabada khabar to zoba chimbo te soyena tani sim tambo menken jada ta terang pernan deni lojong chena yang sani yang jambaz landong ken tendi perna nga so chude na ta de yakbo onduk ta yang te yakbo onduk ta ta changma tendi go damga mambo shenken tani semlan gerwa mambo yonken tendi go nyamlen che go na te khabo yores.
So the teachings of the Vajrayana, and in particular the Dzogchen teachings, for people who are very changeable in their attitude, one moving between this teacher and the next, looking to see what teaching is attractive over here and over there, people who are not stable in their capacity to follow a teacher, these teachings are not particularly suitable for them.
Tini tenga cho jagar ko tini sanga dorji thabaga lorji ta tani po ko tini sanga dorji thabaga lorji tani lama da loma te so tani lojong condition de gomnyam len kanti jam tu te so la tana tani saro ko yore se tini zi yembate.
And we can know that this is the case by looking at the history of the teacher-student relationships of the Vajrayana teachings as they unfolded in India and as well as in Tibet.
Tani nga cho sherdang pena mi mambo zu ka tarta yana pena kanjin ra ore jena nga cho lama de ta nga cho pena lobja girgun rabo tendi zu la tsne tani nga ran cho chu de mashina tani lama zhong ne tani lojong che anda ta tendi zu la sam lo tang ga ore se mi mambo zu ka.
There are many people these days who approach a lama or a spiritual guide much like a teacher in a school. So, not knowing the Dharma, they go and find a teacher in order to learn what they don't know.
Tani ngone tani shana tani mare se lama de so pena terang atsun dinang la ngatsu tani bok lama gar pa de chama dinang la tani nduk tani khongchong ra oyena tani shirtang koso girgin chikboz ka tsakayo marze korang so chip tin muksir kadini korang so niba korang so lila yena korang so semla yena le korang so ko tini ngakla yena niba muksir wa tini niba khabar wa tini yores.
But in actual fact, it's not so simple or monofaceted as this. And if we look around the room and at all these pictures of these great past masters, that their power was not simply that of a regular teacher. In terms of their body, their speech, and the mind, they had they have extraordinary powers in each of these respects.
Tini tenga so lama te so nangla drone kabda mambo shira ta lojang mambo tindi shena da te nyamsin yonga tindi yore da te matsa te korang so chilan drone tini ndugna yang tini koso nipa de aso semgna la musirwa tindi top yongje chorwa tindi musirwa te yongge yore.
So in addition to meeting with such teachers and studying from them, by being in their presence and learning with them in this way, it's possible through a feeling or through an energy to receive their extraordinary benefit.
Tani korangso namgin tani zoba chimbo gum tani simjin tamje pola nyangji gum tani shini gum gyabdepi gimsenji korangso this league nani zegona korangso sim gotone tani ga par niba tani chabarwa tani namgin yonggo yores. korangso tani zoba chimbo gum jita tani simjin tamje la nyangji fyangchibji sim tani gumbi gimsenji tani korangso perna ngaso perna lola ina korang wazir mambo tani yungndo marme ina korang wazir yo pandrawo chene korang so league tone tani nga so mukun tongya me pa tani niba tani nami yunggo yores.
So on account of their long-term Dzogchen practice and their long-term meditation on bodhicitta, from their body radiates a special kind of energy, rather like a light that emits a kind of brightness. And the pictures of the various great masters on the wall here, they are all just like this.
chilan dronin dugna te nangwa ngaso mi nangwa mi chorwa te par ngirndo gorese mus jambadan ra mares.
And coming in their midst and receiving their teachings, then it's possible for students to really manifest change, to be changed by being in their presence. So they're really not like ordinary people at all.
Teni korangso nipade mukun 통해요 말다 이나가서 심고 돌아대 소르와대 소르톱거리 냠스 용톱거리 때 무서와레 만자와레 삼바데 심고 돌아 가서 냠스 용톱거리서.
So even though we can't see their power with our naked eyes, it's certainly possible from our hearts to feel their extraordinary power.
Teni 갈때 로마 코랑 랑니 teni 타바 야보 용근 teni지나 때 델리장 teni 소르와대 야보
And if the student who comes before them is one with extraordinary faith themselves, then the benefit of that blessing power will be received in an even more extraordinary way.
Teni te ngaso jikting toni pena charig ba yenare chanyer ba ba yenare semkham ba yenare koso musdang sina koso teni ngarang chola teni go chorwade par terthabgo marezi mutso.
So various influential people in society today, whether they be scientists or philosophers or other thinkers, it's not possible to gain from their presences this kind of extraordinary power.
Teni korang choda ngaso kabdashina pena charig ba yenare chanyer ba ba kabdashina o korang cho rikpa yakbonduk.
If we're to chat or have a conversation, dialogue with such philosophers or scientists, then the main impression we gain is one of speaking with people who have great intelligence.
teni teriaga teni pata kocho stilayang yo mare.
However, in terms of any greater effect on our mind, we don't derive this from our exchanges with them.
Te maybe gimsende ti koranso shangshipji sem magumba dang teni zogba chimbo teni the rugba magumba gimsenji res.
And the reason for that is that they are not practitioners and meditators on bodhicitta, and they're not practitioners and meditators on the Dzogchen teachings.
Perda nga tso shilola nimayo ine kumna nga tso shilola teni nimayo satela nrojana te lamsang nga tso lipo go thola chot teni nimayo chot nga tso lamsang chorthap gres lipo.
If it's a sunny day and we go outside, then immediately we feel the warmth of the sun rays on our skin and we become warm.
Tane zoba chimbo da shangship ko sim nyamlin chingeng ga lama de tso ta te dang rabore nga tso tindi khotso da nyamde kabda da teni chiena yana nyamde tindi nduna tani nga tso lipo mareze sem go thola tani tindi go chorwa tindi ngi kongna shepa tindi go nawa par ngiren roya go tindi sem go thola jini jebo yongya da nine nga tso rang yang de semjin la nyangji yongya da tani jo musar ka ju nelik zina tindi go te musar nga tso namgin nga tso hamago wi dondak tindi mangbo jimsun mepi go ne ha gon roanda tindi yong ga.
And it's the same with special teachers, practitioners, teachers, masters of Dzogchen, and meditators on bodhicitta. When we're in the presence of such masters, we also change like this. We experience a feeling of great happiness. We also benefit from their great compassion from other beings and begin to really engender the same capacity within ourselves. And through being with them, through chatting with them or simply being in their presence, it's possible for us to gain understandings of realizations and realization of things without necessarily having had them taught to us.
Yena dini kochola dini ngachu shusoni partana kocho jigdeni ju gomba diso dini chandu boyak bo gongkhan da dini roluk da so chama jidni ji mo roluk da hale pa dini thumkhan da ji yarab ko dini ji drugstore da so la hajang dankhan da dini ji yimbingi pa yo mare koran so kaja shandan da koran so lekalena pe kemsar da dini yoris.
However, in terms of their personal presentation, they might not be people who speak in perfectly polite and civilized ways. Sometimes some of their actions and behavior might be a bit strange.
Yena koran so dini ji kemsar raboti nala shawaleka kemsar raboti nala dani nga chola loma chola dinala goa mambo lengi yoris.
However, from their strange actions and behavior, it's possible for us as students to derive all kinds of understandings.
Tani lama de nga chon chila mena yang pe na tha rambo la tindi yona yang tani nga cho lama la yak bo ten lojong ya bo she tindi she charwi jini tani nga cho lama gan chila mena yang lama de tha rambo la yona di chorwa de nga cho la namgin leb gres.
So if we have great faith in our teacher and we've been able to study with them and benefit from being with them, then even when they are remote from us, even when they're extremely far away, then we can still have the feeling in our hearts of being very, very close to them.
Tani namgin tindi so so nyamle yak bo she tamna tindi yong gres.
And in our everyday practice, we can achieve very good results.
Ja, tani ta nga so de ndi nangdon jong nangdon tenge ko chola ngotu she na ba chola ngotu she yin.
And I'd like to begin with the teaching of the text that we have here today.
Tani de nyang tam nyang ga thgle zeyande tani lama yevjin no korang tani chujin jimen panso ko tani janag ro cherngala tani phevni nyamlin shi pi kaps tani songba tani zres.
And the text that we have today, The Heart Essence, My Heart's Advice by Khenpo Jimmy Phuntsok, or Lama Wish Fulfilling Jewel, was written during his travels to Wutai Shan in China to engage in practice.
Tani de ngacho Longchin ba tani semyen ngarso zobachimbo semyen ngarso tang zobachimbo semyen ngarso tangse.
And this text is based on, or is a condensing of meanings from Longchenpa's treasury, finding comfort and ease in the nature of the mind.
Tani tetang rinzin jigme lambaga tani yonder rambo chimzot o ti nikaga annat tani dine tani shejaba tani zres.
So this text is considered a concentration, a condensed form of the main points from Longchenpa's Finding Comfort and Ease in the Nature of the Mind, as well as Jimmy Limba's Treasury of Precious Qualities.
Tani nala tani ngaso muschiga the nyamlin te changma cha changbaz tani mangjiga nyamlin ni tani zoba chimbo part changma cha changbaz yores in nala.
And contained within this text is a complete path of practice from the very beginning, from the preliminary practices right through to the highest Dzogchen practices.
Tani nyangtam nyanga taglev jiso ramjim tripje yarwi sansam kan chibdim san khwe zsen man bi ko jon na ba nyama kan te kyolo shangchib lan de gyoron zon thalin robi mulo tang chambi zawyang chutsur hwaqi malang ya na tat ne nyamse lembi tsir nyangtam nyambo nyangdi tola damsi ta tinala ngacho te ta jong de zombi kaps tomar tani jibzen jamba yang la shangchar wa ta tenji ge ton da res.
So in the first two verses of the Heart Essence, we're really talking about supplicating Manjushri.
Tani ngaso chute pe ta namba chute tani thaba chimbo dorji thaba ha lipa ja chimbo re te kansa ngaso mischi ka tani lojong che gona da khatsang lojong che kala tham ngaso mischi ka thangma par lok gona yang tani lok message la lok mata ban ra tani mambo yore ta ina ngaso nyamlin chi bikas tani mambo go mari nyamlin te ngaso yang onna ndor dipa tani zuk thoni nyamlin che gre te ina di nangla tani nyamlin chi tsat tab debo chi ne songo yen sone te songa res.
So in terms of all of the teachings of the Mahayana tradition and the Vajrayana tradition combined, they're so vast and so massive that it would be, of course, never possible for a single person to cover them in one lifetime. But in terms of practice, we don't need that much. In fact, what we need to do is to grasp all the main points, and this is what is important for our practice. So within the Heart Essence, today's text, a condensed and simplified, convenient path of practice is set out.
Musula samlo tana ngachola tsinda chipo mato tani jamba ka ke samlo tangji me pena ngacho tsindi thola tani gormo mambo saya ta tani sozorang ke botang ya da tani khamba chimbo da langkhor jigbo da tani chipo mato ba jamba ka ke samlo motang tindi yinna tani ngacho chuti joblik zawani yo mares.
So the third verse, beginning with becoming attached to this life, you'll lose your fortunate connection to the Dharma. In this verse, we are talking about one's motivation, and people who are concerned only with worldly pursuits in life, accumulating money, houses and cars and things like this, not concerning themselves for any goals or purposes of a higher nature, it's really not possible for them to be a practitioner of the Dharma.
Tenite ngacho chuba chi yinna zoba chimbo chu nyamslen ken chi yinna pena ngacho khamba jigbo da gormo mambo da teni langkor yakbom teso yo choko mareze te ziwi kaja mareze te yona chokore mena chokore zawadi gareze gzina ta ngacho teso chimbo ma to jang ke la samlo ma tangna teni ngacho chu tang zapo teso nyamlin shi tabiyo mareze shedanga penanga zu tsin de chubola samlo tangken go mozgena de korangdam chambi chunyamse lengi yore wezena yore reti zogba chimbo de tiante di mares.
So what I'm saying here is not that a practitioner of the Dzogchen teachings is not able to enjoy a nice house or a car or lots of money, but if this is only what the only things that they concern themselves with, and they are not concerned with higher attainments, then it's not possible for them to be practitioners of the Dzogchen path. And this is not to say that they can't be practitioners of the Dharma at all, but practitioners of the Dzogchen teachings in particular need, in addition to these other things, to be oriented towards higher attainments.
Tani that ngazo chunyamse lenna tani tsindogo tani shawale katso mar pangore sone tani songoyores tsindi shawato par torgore sone tani songoyores chugnala.
So it said in the scriptures that it is necessary to abandon our worldly pursuits in this life.
However,
in terms of what it actually means to abandon our activities in this life, there are many levels and gradations of understanding. So Milarepa and the omniscient Lungchenpa, they are examples of practitioners who really and truly abandoned all their worldly pursuits and dedicated themselves solely to the practice of the Dharma. So it's not possible for us to commit ourselves to the Dharma to this great extent. However, it is possible for us to let go of perhaps 10% or 20% or even 30% of our normal worldly activities and turn ourselves to the practice and the study and practice of the Buddhist teachings.
Depena chisu chitamba nangla pena nga su chula lojong ma shipi kongla pena nga su chisu chigo nangla tani leka le gormo tsar tani shi gizi yinna tani chula lojong shi tsarwi jini tani nga su pena chisu gala tani nga su njitenga leka le tani chisu chigla chula lojong shi ya yana chisu gyalla tani nga su njitenga tani leka le chisu nila tani ta chula lojong shi ya ta tani yinna yang njukuris.
So for us, it's even okay if we spend generally 10 hours a day on our worldly livelihood and maybe 1 hour on the Dharma, or say 8 hours on our work and 2 hours on the Dharma. This in itself is okay.
Teni ngazo chizo chiga nangla ngazo njikten par pangni chudum deyang chokore. Chizo niga nangla njikten par pangni njikten lup pangni teni chudum na deso layang.
So if in this 1 or 2 hours a day we really let go and abandon samsara and apply ourselves to the study of the Dharma, then it's quite valid for us to say that within this 1 or 2 hours each day we are abandoning samsara. So the amount of time that we devote to the Dharma each day, we devote to abandoning samsara, whether it be 1 hour or 2 hours or 5 hours, this is something that we need to decide for ourselves. If it's something that someone else determines for us and tells us you should be spending this or that much time each day, and then we're not able to fulfill it, then that's quite difficult. So this is something by necessity that each person must determine for themselves.
Tani nga tsun jikten gangji tini jikten ke shoko shawa na mambo pangni 추쇼거든이 되니 냠린데 야 제망 소나 되니 든지 그거니 가서 드바톱기디 욕보용 거래 배나 지쯤 말아라 바타오 든지나 코랑 근직된 상마빵니 추드비톱거든이 코랑 치스질라 상지송와리 배나 된다보용 거래서.
So the more that we are able to reduce our samsaric activities and turn ourselves to our dharmic practice, then the more quickly we will achieve, we will make accomplishments in the Dharma. So with Milarepa, for example, he completely abandoned samsara and applied himself to practice, and for this reason, in the space of a single lifetime, attained the state of Buddhahood.
Tani ta nga chu raboina nga chu mang chi shu de la tani jiste yang de zi bang tani chu yang de zi zhib ni ga shi yang jiste yang de zi zhib chu yang de zi zhib ni ga shi ni din ram nim rabo shi ne mang chi wa ta din ji shi.
But most of us are people who will continue, on the one hand, to have some level of worldly activities and at the same time to pursue our dharmic practice. And perhaps we'll be able to do this in an equal or a kind of even or balanced fashion.
Tani kantar yang nga cho jiteng ge shola tez parma pana nga cho nyama tabar jitin kyangba de samlo tani de na tani chula nga cho samlo khorwi dirkwi mare kantar jitin jongzi pangla de pang gore ta de kangdi pang so rang ta gore mambo pang ta na tini nga cho gyogba tani Jabato Yongare, Mambo Pang Matana, the Tindim Joboyo Marita Yana, the Ndrungres.
So, whilst it's up to each of us as individuals to determine the extent to which we are able to abandon samsara, the more we're able to do so, the quicker we will have accomplishment. However, even if we're not able to abandon samsara to a really great extent, still we will make progress. It'll just probably be a bit slow, a bit more at a bit more slow pace. Nevertheless, it is necessary that we do make some sacrifice and that we do abandon our worldly activities to some extent. So, the abandonment of worldly activities to some extent is the first condition that we need for the practice of the Dharma. So there are several conditions that we need for Dharmic practice, and this is the first one. And the next one is relying on a qualified teacher.
Quand la tena yondon son perijon ni tum tata jang da choshit bin sanit dam bipshinin tambade ni parsim gi tendang jantun drup soni da nga so lama de teni ta tengo re te lama de kanji tengo na taringe kona samba ta da nga so nyangma la sam lo tang na tan de lama to so nga so sanit dang damba teni te lama ang tong te la nga so zgre ze teni kong na ban rawina.
So in verse 4 now, by relying on genuine, qualified spiritual teachers. In this verse, we are talking about, indeed, just that, relying on teachers who are qualified. And as I was just saying before, if we look around at the pictures of the masters on the wall, these are all considered completely qualified first-grade teachers.
Tani lamade donda tambo tani korang chu tola goa pe yakbo yongken. Tani is go re chu kanda na chabar de zoba chembo sangang dorji thaba teso pe yakbo shinken tani is tengo re.
So in terms of being a qualified teacher, the first thing is having a deep understanding of the Dharma, and in particular a deep understanding of the Dzogchen teachings and the Vajrayana system as a whole.
Teni koas chibo yung mari chabar de nyamnyung yakbo yung gore lama korang la gom jamni nyamnyung pe yakbo sa yung ken on nang la teni koa yakbo tokba yakbo yung ken teni lama ten gore ta korang nyamnyung yakbo yung ken kortok yakbo yung ken teni zina teni lama te partasala korang rang rapshung inang jigore chimba inang jigore 강이 나 저거래 조조의 그런 냠용약 보고래 뭐또 고와치 뭘 저거 말이지.
So, but not just a conceptual understanding of the Vajrayana and the Dzogchen teachings. We need to find a teacher who has internalized these teachings and developed a deep experiential understanding of them through meditative practice. And it's this kind of teacher that we need, a teacher who obviously has great conceptual understanding, but also great realization.
다니다 선바디가 좀 차킹 선바가 좀 출라더니 야른 직비디니 차킹 선바디 강래잖아. 다니 ngacho dombazu chonggo gorese ta dombade ngacho kyambayna de koran kyambarang la de ni songji de yore rapshong na rapshong la songji yore de ni shangchu senhwa ga domba yore de ngacho sanga dorji ta ba domba yore kala kangcham susorang ga kangri zu song tamna de ni songgo gore ma to ta ngacho song mathya da de ni mangbu zi yang go mare kantar sosorang ga kangri song tamna jik tamna ni tamna sim tamna de ni songgo gorese.
And Khenpo just said that in respect of the qualified teacher, if they do have this conceptual understanding and experiential understanding, then regardless of whether they are an ordained teacher or a non-ordained teacher, then it doesn't matter. And then moving on to the third condition, the condition that we will assist us in making advancement in our practice. This is the taking of vows. So there are different levels of vows. There are lay vows, bodhisattva vows, tantric vows. The extent to which or how many vows an individual thinks they're able to take on is something that they need to determine for themselves. It's not necessary that we take on everything. However, it is useful and beneficial to have some level of vow taking.
다 대시 자리 진행 아조더니 다 돈바도 츠름 갈라강섬즈도 종 든디시 자리 진이 드니 당아서 가리치고 그래서나 당보 드니 아조 로중시 고래서 당보 아조 검 잡고나 도물 아조 검디 간디 잡고 그래 아조 김승 강급 셔더니 검 잡고 그래 그래서 로중시 고래서 로중도 마시나 드니 아조 더 시그 말했더니 마시나 양 아조 때 tabachi boyo na yang den zhe ge mare teni ngaso machina teni gom jamni teni she dena teni gom de yabo yong mo to ha go mare te na de ton da tangbo de ngaso lojung she ya de pe kar chimboris.
So having made some commitment to moral or ethical discipline through taking on vows, we then move on to the next thing, which is study of the Dharma. And this is important. Faith alone is not going to see us achieve great results in our practice. We need to understand what the content of our meditation and practice is, and in fact why we are practicing it. Just simply sitting down and meditating without having an understanding systematically of how it works, it's uncertain whether or not we will have good results if we do it this way.
Tomet ber marg monlong de shibzh nyom babjin de tawren kem dana jibdi kanzon chorwi shir sonrob jamchom nyanlap chow rig dene ngacho korwa ngala cherum korwa thongma mepani tati bar de dene ngacho korwa ngala kor dene denji jendo wi jimchen de kare zina ngacho nelikton yaboz mashiwi jimchen ji dene korwa ngala kor ko yore de na dene tambo ngacho lojong shini mashipati shibr dene chegore.
And then moving on to the next verse, we address the reason for why we have, since the beginning of time, been circling and spinning around in samsara. And the reason for this is our ignorance, in fact, of the nature of reality. So it's necessary for us to study, to learn the things that we don't know, and advance ourselves in our practice this way.
Tani tuba de she tsari jini tani tuba zamji rondo macho chang tandang tondang tan la yechi nye kawe chat zombi shawa jabchak samshong sherb tikjib shit tin tani tondang nipa de tani ngazo 추대 강에 나가서 나와가 나라더니 투바 잠지 용거 말에 알아서 라마 텐네 라마 쪽에 추대 지고래 다이나 지와치 보고 용거 말에더니 소소랑 그 삼로 땅고래 삼로 양당 양도 땅나더니 가서 상기라 이치 용거래 추라 이치 용거래 마토더니 가서 라마가더니 송바치고 잠마토바 소소랑 그 삼로 mambo 마땅나 내가서 이치 약보더니 기탑 그 말에지 되나 되니 nga cho teni ta chapatang teni zoba japjeta zombadang teni gore ta nga so mcha phomo na la pe na nga so ji ta chapata zobata zombata so nga so pe na gomba ga trasa da ota teni de mangbu yung go mare ta gangtar nga rang so yang teni yin dam da nga so panchen chi ge la rolang chi ya da teni changma ga teni ji sem go tola ji gangji yin teni yin sam ni so so rang ga sam lo mambo tang ya te haliba karchimbore te la sambazi tubadang sambazi nipa sambazi giteres.
So having heard the teachings or listened to the teachings, it's extremely important that we then reflect on the contents of the teachings. So having come before the Lama and heard the teachings, we need to do this, and that is excellent. But without contemplating their contents ourselves, then this will not be sufficient. So in this verse, it talks about the need to debate and do composition and elucidation, explanation, etc. Well, the extent to which monks and nuns do this in the monastery is probably not needed by household or lay practitioners. Nevertheless, it is very important that we do reflect on the teachings that we have heard and engage in discussion between ourselves, reflecting on whether we have an accurate understanding of the teachings. So these two, listening and understanding, very much go hand in hand.
Tani da nga zo nangba tani chuena tani taba chimbo chu mdola nanda tani ngak dorji taba nanda gangi nanda bore changma tani chini chacham tani ni tangin teni semni sherab ote teso sembo tanga so teni chu nangdong changma lolok shini dijana teso sem gut tinanglan dendro.
So in the Tibetan tradition, whether we're talking about the sutric path or the tantric path, though the threefold system of first ethical discipline and then samadhi and then meditative wisdom, these are present in either path we pursue.
Tani nga zo dangbo tsatamde gore, tsatamde mena, tani gumde taga yakbo jilla kitab ka mares.
Without some level of ethical discipline, then we don't or won't achieve good results in our meditative practice.
Tani nipati tanginzan gumde gore ma to ngate gumde ma gyabna tani nga zo shirabde semka nala yakbo kitab ka mare, rigbazina, herabzina, tani te yongtab ka mares.
And then moving on to samadhi, it's necessary that we do practice meditation. Without sitting in meditation, it is impossible for us to generate and increase our wisdom.
Tani rigpati semga nala yakboza nga so mena ten nyumong ba par pangona yang pangtab ko mare garde pangna yang da nima kashi dawa kashi lo kashi mato tani tsawani pangona pangtab ko mare ti yendama da shirapte go re.
And without wisdom, it's not possible for us to truly do away with our negative afflictions and obscurations. If we lessen them or reduce them for a short period of time, a few days or even a year, without true wisdom, then it will not be possible to eradicate them at the root.
Tani tsuchum mena, ngacho tsuchum da domba mena, tani sim tangin zin kiega marezi, tema kiwi gimtsin de kare rezi na pela ngacho tsuchum mapsona pela ngacho ta shawa dikbo mambole, mosaya, tang kama jawya na dindigile ka dikjak mambole jangna tani yarkab ko cham dangar, yang ngacho yerchur yerlik komchur dangar, tani redi tani soso la tani pela 첨거 jarkab 첨거 돈에 다 차바였나다 되니 가좀 대마였나 가서 수수고 돈에 샤와 득작 만보 레잖아 되니 수소랑 그 셈거나라 마케바 만보 뇨바 만보 끼니 되니 용거래 되니 용나 내가 저 검갸비네 겁나 셈 되니 마르탐보 용탑 그 말에 검갸비네 겁나 되니 뜻소 짠 용거래 되고 짠 용나 셈 담보 언네탑 그 말에 디 짐선징 가서 검갸고나 담보 가서 쇼바데 약보서 거래.
So the reason why we need ethical discipline and vows and how they benefit our meditative practice is if we don't have these, then it's very easy for us to commit all kinds of negative actions, ranging from thieving to killing people, engaging in illegal behavior, and aside from such extreme examples, other kinds of negative behavior, social actions, etc. And when we sit down to meditate, then we sit down and we want to be in a calm meditative state, but our thoughts will very easily and quickly turn to these actions that we've committed in the past, and we will be full of a sense of regret and this kind of thing. And this will negatively impact our the quality of our meditation.
다니다 가서 처음도 공도 샷살송 다니다 당인전다 셰르님디 곰 그나라요래 단디 만추니 곰 시작그레스.
So we have finished talking about ethical discipline, and the verses from here on are all talking about meditation.
다니다 곰때 강레제나 Jean-Luc Ramjum Nabi, Tonchin Yang, Rangit Mater Nijundom Bandan, Chewab Zanta, Wona, Yopig, Adam Don Yang, Tinjik, Yang Jonam. Teni Tambo de Canrezina, Gazo, Rupi Jean-Luc Toning, Gazo, Teni Chula Lojon Shine, Teni Rupi Jean-Luc Mambo Shinayang, Gazo Rangayang, Teni Chuluka, Teni Shirik Mambo Shi, Teni Parashat Gonayang, Teni Mambo Shat, the Shi, Teni Nayang, Sosoranga Yamlin Shemena, Teni. 셈거 돌아된 냠용다 야르기 용지 요마레 때문에 되는 가서 세시말한 조위값 난 치위값이 양더니 야르기 지직 만로네 당가서 타마르반다 오시니 되니 세시말한 조거레 때 곰티고.
So moving on to verse 8, beginning with even the most erudite of teachers with vast scriptural learning. So this verse is really talking about the need to put into practice what we've learned. So even people who have teachers, students who have vast knowledge of the scriptures, they've learnt a lot, and even they teach what they've learnt to a lot of people without having internalized it through their practice, and therefore gained an experiential realization of these teachings, that when they confront death and their future life, they will not be in an advantaged position.
Mama Jerry Chuser Ramjim Kong Ranjinderwa Koni Tafsudam Tsila Manchir Tunji Zamnan Chok Nyangab Chit Tumji Lion Kersoni Dangazo Chu Dini Mambo Tim Do Nga Teso Haleba Mambo Tini Songyore Yena Teso Tsama Tini Natun Yangbo de Kangrezina Natsu Suso Rang Nyumba Te Par Zavani Tini Mepachia Tiniga Te Gubati Teresi Chu Gubati Tere Tendi Yending Azo 추디 냠린지 거를 마토바 냠린 마시네 베나가츠 추고디니 이게도 소다 측도 소 간지제지 디토라 짐직만 보지 드리시나 다니 르그니 잠바페남 산여르 바다 소단 자원자오렌 저거레 좀르단 산여르 바다 자오렌 저거레 마토바가츠 심라 판톡답고 말이 때인디 추디 조조데 나랑 저거 심거 돌아 판톡 약보 용야 심디니 야르기타야 딘디즈레 딘디 인디 데니 측딜라 삼로 mambutan na tenin jig mare choti ton tela samlo tane gum gogres.
So even though the teachings of the sutric and tantric traditions are extremely vast, ultimately what all of these teachings are oriented to is dispelling, eradicating our negative afflictions and obscurations. And so for this reason, if we dedicate a lot of time to analyzing the words, research their meaning, etc., and dedicating an undue amount of time to this kind of endeavor, then really it's not much difference to a normal kind of a mundane kind of philosophical pursuit. So for this reason, it's really important that we focus on the key task and internalize the teachings through meditation.
Tani ta gum gona nga cho kandi gum go rezena gum gorum de ta nga cho tani bogin nang tang kana la ina gum jablu ko tani gorum de pe saru tangbo ka gum tani yang kang gum tani chine pe hale ba saru tani she yore di gorum de nga cho tani gorum tar den ro go re ma to ba tani nga cho gorum tar den monro ni tangbo ni tani chi chun thombo pe na jogba chimbo ra da tani to so gum jana tani nga cho sim go to la pan to yong tab go mare rimbi ro go gres.
So in respect of how, in terms of how we should go about meditating, in the Tibetan Buddhist tradition, the graduated path or the path with gradations is set out very clearly. How we go from this stage, we achieve a stable state of meditation and then move on to the next stage by jumping immediately to really advanced types of meditation. Then our minds can't really benefit in a proper way or to the full extent.
Tani zogba chimbo nga so to gona tani zogba chimbo ziate nga so tsuk goni parshiani zogba chimbo denji je zeni tani tsuk goni she gona tani nga so she gona te shatov go mareze korang tsuk shatov ya tani tondak zo mareze.
And particularly in respect of the Dzogchen teachings, if we are trying to set out in words, in language, to describe this is Dzogchen or that is Dzogchen, it's ultimately a matter, not a matter that we can express in language or through words in this way.
Tani 대인디 되는 가서 탑시 잠발라 때니 되니다 또고래 마도 방아서 측 다닥 샤니 온데 데리지니 된디샤나 베나가서 무컴르 바다 지르다 또소샤반다 오시니 샤지드니 요마레즈.
So for this reason, if we're going to realize the meaning of the great perfection, it's necessary that we find another way, another means of realizing it. So unlike, say, physics or mathematics or something where it's possible to set out quite clearly in language, this is what it is and this is not what it is, the Dzogchen teachings require a different kind of method.
다 던지인 사팅 아주 심 거더니 난가 라 되니 디 망주 거기서 야보 검니 아주 심거 럼바데 야 빠르고 그래.
So it's for this reason that we follow a gradated path, and that by following a path of meditation step by step, we increase the quality of our minds.
더니 심기 럼바데 야 빠르네 아주 심디 때저 럼밤 통분다고 던지 차소나 더니 아주 족바침보 측다 더니 자다 던지 그 가자 망보 마시나요 더니 거랑 그탑 데보 던지 탑릴 라보실라 때니 거랑 람상 때니 건조 그랬어.
And if we do follow this approach where we gradually, stably, step by step increase our realization and continue to progress our minds, then ultimately when we arrive at the point when we're ready for the Dzogchen teachings, then just a few words or a very simple and convenient teaching will be enough for us to make a very immediate realization of their meaning.
더니 족바침보가 좀 라마 초양 망보 송거래 더니 족바침보 빼차양 특본 던진다 빼 망보 요래다 돼서 참아 과랑초 디 탑시대 했더니 시작이 요래 마도 봐 적칭 뭐마디 지금 샷하고 말해지 내가 좀미 측라더니 샷고나 백카보레스.
So even though in respect to the teachings of the great perfection, lamas of the past and present have had a lot to say, they've been given a vast amount of teachings, and even though there are extremely thick texts and writings that set out the Dzogchen teachings, ultimately what's contained therein is methods and not Dzogchen or the great perfection itself. This is not something that can be described directly in words.
더니 나랑서 남칼라 다와 요빈네 그나가 좀 줌모 남칼라 즈니 다와 너나 샤르도 즈니 든지 지지 그레스 제테가 좀 줌모도 다와라 툭 남양 탑고 말해.
So it's just the same as when we point to the moon in the sky and we say, that is the moon. By looking at the finger, we are never going to know what the moon in itself is.
옛날 가서 되니 다와 남칼란도 전에 실라타나 되니 미티 코랑가 되니 즈무들라 마타니 남낭라 타시나 대 코랑가 다와된 통로 그래서.
However, by gesturing to the moon with our index finger, if the person we are addressing follows the direction of where our finger is pointing and looks at the moon, then it is possible for them to apprehend it as it is.
되니 다와 남칼란도 전에 되니 샤비네 금나 머디 남낭라 타마시니 즈무들라 타나 되니 코랑 남양 다와 통탑고 말해서.
However, if when we point to the moon, saying, there's the moon in the sky, the person we are addressing keeps their eyes fixated on our finger, then they're never going to know what the moon in itself is.
Tendi indi tanga so dawa namkala nduzena teni nzumula matane teni namkala tashia te nga so lojongshi gores.
So in order, when someone tells us the moon is in the sky and points to it, in order for us to know that at this time we need to look to where the finger is pointing and not at the finger itself, this is something that we need to learn how to do.
Teni te kapsa teni nga so ta te tashia te la nga so sem goramba ya pargo goje ramba tumbo tango gores nga so sem goramba te ya tumbo tango re pena nga so jimchirda khabarda nduso te teni ta tinala nyeche teni yakbo mambo chigni teni lori ya ramba parko yore tenra poshine nga so sem goramba ya pargo ndus.
So in order to do this, it is necessary that we continue to update or continue to advance the level of our minds. Just as iPads and mobile phones and computers these days have apps and software that get updated every year, continue to get better and better, so too do we need to work on our minds in this way.
Tatini pargona tini pariaga tabshiti kangresina tani ngonro kor
So what is the best way for increasing or improving our minds, enabling our minds to elevate in their quality and level? Well, this is to put into practice the preliminary teachings.
Tani zogba chimbo nyamlin chenken ga tani moz yenna tarong zogba chimbo lekyang tani ngonrun do sola karchin che gores.
So even for Dzogchen practitioners, they may be practitioners of the teachings of the Great Perfection, but the most important part of this path of practice is, in fact, the preliminaries.
Tani ti gimsang kangrezena nga so ngonro ndo so yangpo shene so rang sim garambam thumbu tini parthap sona tani zogba chimbo te nekapsa nga so magona gale koyong gres.
And the reason for this is that through completing the preliminary practices, we are able to increasingly improve the nature of our minds and improve our understanding. Then, even if we at the present moment haven't realized the Dzogchen teachings, certainly it is possible that we will be able to do so.
Tani indi nga so lama so tani ti chusong bikapsi na tani korang so loma pe halepa ga loma tani yakboda tani pe tani korang kam tungchin chia ga tani loma na lama so tangbo ni zogba chimbo songgu mares sona yang te pantho yo mares.
So, for lamas who have extremely good students, extremely dedicated students, and students who they care about and esteem very much, not even lamas who have students like this will give the Dzogchen teachings immediately.
Tani nga so tani sem goramba yakpo parmena tani lama la nga zogba chimbo sonrochi zeni tani utsik gyabna. So to
say to teachers like this, oh, please give me the Dzogchen teachings, please teach them to me now, this really isn't what we should do. Even if they were to teach us or were to give us these teachings right now, they wouldn't be of any benefit to us.
Pena nga tso lopta chung na la tsawane mandru ni teni nga tso gergen chigla teni nga ramjum ba ga teni ta lopchut nangro na zena tani gergen ga teni nga tso la te lopta chung yon tharmashin ken zela te ramjum ba ga lopchut gergen ga nang ga mare je karti na yang te chiji phanto yo mare.
So just as if a person who had never even been to primary school went to a university professor and said, "Teach me a PhD curriculum," if this, in fact, request were to be made, then even if the teacher were to teach such a thing, it would not be of any particular benefit or use to the student.
마름든 데니 로tam 다람든 데니 로타 침본돈 상마 돈네 등 탑신네 야보레 차비지스 데니 가서 라마라 당아람 좀 바가 럽트 제로 제제 데니 마지나요 데카스 데니 라마가 솔라 람좀 바가 럽트 땡고네 장네 제용 거레스.
So if we have followed the proper graduated path, if we've completed our primary school, our secondary school, and our university teaching lessons, then even and properly progressed at each stage, then even if we were not to request of our teacher that they give us the PhD teachings or the doctrine teachings, our Lama would give these teachings to us of his own accord.
Teni ti kapsa teni nga chola lopcha chokba chimbo lopcha sheyati teni lama khorang la ngen yore teni lama tingen de khar yongores.
And when a student is prepared for these teachings, then that is the responsibility of the Lama at this point to give them these teachings, and it's the responsibility of them to fulfill it.
Teni tiso tela mahlip ke part teni nga cho rangla teni rang sim yarji tangyada Ramba Pariati, Naso Rang Gayore, Tini T Caps and Naso Rang again the Kergore Mato, Naso Rang Teni Sim Yarjeton again the Macarni, Teni Lamalanga Joshin Sonroji, Teni Dena, Te Panto Yomare, Naso Shonini, Gayabokarni Rogores.
However, until we've arrived at this moment when we're ready and prepared properly for these teachings, then the responsibility up until this point is really our own to gradually and properly increase the quality of our minds. So for us at this point or before we've reached this stage, to constantly request of our teachers that they give us the doctrine teachings, please teach me this, please teach me that, ultimately it's not appropriate for us to do this. There are responsibilities on both sides, and in terms of preparing ourselves for the teachings of the doctrine teachings, the responsibility of preparing one's own mind ultimately rests with the student.
Tani sim yarje tanga tani korum de kanrezina tani ngonjo kortere ngaso thamongo ngonjo ti lodog namba jita tani thamong maim ba ngonjo jamro ta semke ta dosim gonle ta te manjer ta so re to so rembe sagne tani korum tardan ro gores.
So in terms of ensuring the progress of our practice, it's necessary to properly, step by step, apply ourselves to the preliminary practices, starting with the 4 outer preliminaries and then moving on to the inner preliminary practices.
Tani tendi indi shirtanga so moschiga tani lama mambo la tani lojong shena yang tani shirtanga yakbo yores.
In generally speaking, to receive teachings from many lamas is a good thing.
Yena nga so la nyamlin ke tini chet ngone nyamlin ke chet tani lama chigla tena te pe yakbo yores.
However, in terms of receiving guidance and instructions in terms of practice, it's extremely beneficial if we rely on a single teacher.
Pena nga so napazina tani nga so mambas chigla tena tani mambadi ngarang so nat kanji yang koranga hagore chaji yore tani man kang jingo te koranga hagore.
So just as if we were to be suffering from a physical illness, if we were to see or consult a single doctor, they would be able to develop a familiarity of our condition, and they would be able to know exactly what kind of needs we had, and they'd be able to prescribe the proper medicine on this basis.
Tani te mayemba pera nga so nat nawine kamna tani yang 아주 늪쇼고 만발라톤 되니 야미 만발라톤 보그 만발라톤 만바 망볼라톤 망볼린 망보자 되니 셰잖아 되니 소소 랑라양 판토요 마레 되니 만바테 조양 되니 딱 텔라 만카리 테르고테 하고 마레.
However, if we were to get sick and to sometimes go and see a Chinese doctor, and other times a Western doctor, and then other times still a Tibetan doctor, and take medicine from all of them and eat all of these pills, then not only would it not be of benefit to our own particular ailment, but the doctors wouldn't know really how to properly prescribe for us either.
당아서 냠린이 시나 대당 직반자 보랭아서 냠린 그 Teni perna zoba chimbogo nyamlin rawo teni na teni nga lama yang takpa chila teni teni rimba jinda nyamlin shinin ro na teni nga charji te teni lama koranga hako re teni nga teni te kap gandiz ka thola teni chu gandi songo nam dzokchin songo tetso yo lama koranga hako re teni na te pe kar chimbore te nyamlin ngoma te lama chika tongni jina te yabo yo re.
And it's exactly the same in terms of the practice of the Dharma, and particularly the Dzogchen practice. It's important for our teachers to know where we are so that they can know the proper teachings to give us at the right time.
Yena nga cho teni perna nangchu teni chu rungni ko konda teni nangchu shisha ko konda teni te lojong shena nga cho lama mambo teni lojong shena te natun yo mare te yakbo yo re.
However, in terms of study of Buddhist teachings and Buddhist culture, if we are to receive teachings from many lamas, in a general sense, this is a very good thing. There's no problem with it.
Tani ngonro kortere nyeki tenda tangin de mandoyo nyeki tenda arong atom waranda norumbam le lapi tomje dam shenenda shinder nyekawe tonchindama Dula Mayir Chinch Dagachin Namki Tonja, Namzum Tomba Sijan Homani, Lotan Davar Dubi, Lomeki, Tarta Gechu Durizan, Legion Legim David Chenmaza, Narman Toto, Vapsi, Jusumi, Tartar Garden, Rawan, Yotinder, Rangaranit, Lina Seikup, Zorkin Kori Dumur, Sheptanam, Tambazam Givarpo, Yonina, Jan Yetake, Lisim, Don Yitse, Jendainji. Rangla tumurjut tatinga so tomongshi ngondo lordon namba jizigreteni tetsoina le laborenga so mashiwa ndaota tinti yomarta yina gum ti indamanda gum gore matonga so ota lordon namje tata le laborete gumyachi gumagumchi mundik samni tinti shevjana teni nga so noncher chimboren jore tin nangla shapati so te le laboreta yina le laboti nga cholan chona te gum guna le laboz mare te ripi jongle ko tone le laborita gum ni teni yongona kabore te yindamanda gum gores.
So the next several verses all pertain to the four outer preliminaries, the four thoughts that turn the mind from samsara. And even though on the surface they seem rather straightforward, rather easy to get one's mind around, in terms of actually meditatively contemplating them and internalizing them, this is quite a different matter. It's quite difficult indeed. So we shouldn't just think, oh, that's easy, I know that, I don't really need to practice it. These are an extremely important part of our practice, and if we were to neglect it, it would be a very great mistake indeed.
Teni nga zo lordo namban degon jendinala pedang korwa dungurin zeni teni shayore teni matse martak bayan zeni teni songyore te yendi partana autosota gumna sem ganala nga zo maki panda o teni yongsa ria samni kashi teni sam chikre de yina teni mare ze nga zo korwa dungurin ze teni shayore te yina korwa dungurin na dungur de par tachchiya to dungur de par mepa shiya lamtenga chotini yakboz rangro gore lamka te yakboz re raksona tani soso semganala onkora nala dungmarta mambondukte yena te kyongmondo ngaranga dungmarte chamamara partini pangtabgundu takshushi tabgundu samba tindigo samlo te keyona tani ngachoyo mtsela rewa sarwa tindi lep tani mtsega nala tani chornyak trechu chornyak tani sarwa tindi to yakbo yone tani mtsete yang chindi tola yang pe kebo tindi rendo gore.
So some people might think that by meditating on things like the sufferings of and shortcomings of samsara that one will become quite unhappy and disheartened. In actual fact, it's true that engaging in these contemplations, we certainly do need to contemplate the suffering and the unpleasant aspects of samsara. However, the purpose is not to remain in this state, because we ultimately know that we are receiving a path and we are receiving methods to eradicate this suffering and to transcend this samsara. So in actual fact, the purpose of meditating or contemplating the 4 outer preliminaries is to generate in ourselves a great sense of hope and a great sense of energy and dedication in respect of this path and these methods that are going to lead us out of samsara.
다들이 든지 직진 신도 타르칼리 든비 니르더 잔니 니마트 플럼빗 켄치 니비 다니츠 런치 나스 캬스 텐버르 쩌섬 등머 람딘 돌리숑 또 데게임 타다가 잔판 셈린총 devshir lami tonbi jimyak dev lami shan chupsim chokye per rik rangir rikim shekhkar andar sha olowar dripper dirki cher yogna zafsar tanzan zimnin charkawi tovji rekhkar ngarwi kyot per hu asuni tat so nala nga cho di thamon nang ngondro ozini teni ta ngondro bamnga ze teni teje teni thamon shi ngondro lordong namba jit teni ta yakboz gom charwi jini teni nga cho And
the next several verses are talking about the internal preliminary practices, and these we engage in after we have properly completed our contemplations on the 4 outer preliminaries.
Tani ngondro so yabo tani nyamlin mashini tambuni ngaranga jogba chimbo tani nyamlin cheyin zeni tindi zenken tani pe mambu yores.
There are actually a great many people who say that they don't need to do the preliminary practices and are ready straight away for the Dzogchen teachings.
Tani mi jamba matsa ngacho boba ga tani jaba cho nala yena tani ta ngondro yakbo magumne tani korang takar jogba chimbo gumgo samkang tani me mambu yore te yopi gimtsingi ngacho hungi lama cho yena tani yon jikamare tsone titola kapgyun mambu na yore titola kyunjun mambu tani na yore.
And this kind of idea is not just something among lay Buddhists or among a particular kind of Buddhist in a certain place. In fact, there are many among Tibetan monks, among ordained Buddhists in Tibet who also have this attitude. And in respect of this attitude, there has been a great deal of criticism in the past by lamas and masters.
Tani nga cho bobi nang la tinti yore, tani sharshoko mo per na jami nang la yang ta tinti mambundus.
So not just this attitude isn't just popular among students in the West; it's also popular among students in China too.
Tani nashoko tani chig nyamlin shinkan taso nang la ngai charji chimbo meda pe tinti yo na tangzi yo shi cheze.
The extent to which this attitude is pervasive among Western students is not something that I have a great familiarity of. However, it's quite possible that it does exist. However, this really isn't a possible, or it isn't a valid attitude to have. When we build or construct a building, it's inevitable, it's necessary that we need to start off with the foundations first. There's no chance whatsoever to start building some kind of structure from midway in the sky.
Lordong namje ta so yangpo shone tenri resong wi jini ta karte teni jini nga cho jogba chimbo nguni tane jogba chimbo ta karte nga cho la mathup na teni chengkhe me na yang pe na teni lami namjur teni ngararam boche ga teni ta lamin namjir te yakpo nyamlinchi teni ti ola teni lama ta teni ngararam boche da suso lama la te sornde yakpo jene teni jina kale zoba chimbo te teni tok yung gare.
If we properly and stably work on the preliminary practices and complete them to the requisite standard, then even if we don't receive direct teachings on the Dzogchen tradition, then through having great faith in our teacher and by practicing Guru Yoga, such as Guru Yoga on Padmasambhava, and sincerely very supplicate our teacher through this method, then it's quite possible that we will realize the nature of reality in the Dzogchen teachings on our own accord.
Teni ngonro do nyamli yakpo je tabna teni ngaso kale teni chini dzogba chimbo tang teni ni ne sosorang lama la te tapa halepa tapa yakpo te teni rangshik teni rangjingi yongres ngaso ngonro ta zo teni ndoso thumong maimbi ngonro te so nyamli yakpo chena teni tapa te rangshik yongres ngaso chula tapa lama la tapa te rangjingi ke yongres.
And if we properly complete the inner preliminaries as well as the outer preliminaries, then our faith in our teacher will be self-arising. It will arise of itself.
Tani tapate rangjinji ke ui gimsante kangrezena tani tinane ngaso rangrang nyamlin tani kale gom jap tani sheonde tani tinane soso rang gimsan mambo tani soso rang hako yore. Te hakoi tini yongdi teni ngaso chula yechi bayong teni lama layang yechi bayong gre te yechi tela teni tapaze gre.
And the reason that our faith in our teacher will automatically be generated through the preliminary practices is that by engaging in them, we will step by step, bit by bit, develop all kinds of understandings and realizations by ourselves. And in the process of doing this, our faith in not just the Buddhist teachings, but in our own teacher will increasingly grow.
Teni ngaso shirtang, teni tapazini, teni shana ngaso memangboda, chaparto teni lonyong da tezi korwa tezi gao yosa mareze. Gao meze na parchi tanglin rawo teni shetab ko yosa mareze pena ngaso taba de pekar chembore teni zena tanglin shetab ko yosa marete yena te kayo mareze. Ka maybe gimsen de kangreze na ta ngaso korang rang teni taba she goya gimsen zo korang nyamnyung ko toni tosona teni ngaso taba she go reze ni korang la malav na korang ranshik teni taba yakboto yungoreze. Teni kosola nyamnyung teni yakbozo mesona teni ngaso tabache gore zinate koso nge tabache go gimsen karere samne teni sam yongore te kamanduse.
So this word faith and the need to have faith is probably something that a lot of young people these days don't really feel able to accept. But we shouldn't really blame them for this, and it's in many ways it's quite understandable. Through engaging in the preliminary practices, one automatically, or one grows in realization, then one's faith automatically increases, it automatically grows. And it's not necessary in that situation for someone to be told to have faith. Their own faith will grow of its own nature. So in that situation, it doesn't matter whether or not someone is being told to have faith or not to be told to have faith. If they are generating realization and experience through the practices, then their faith will automatically increase.
Teni ngaso chugo nyamnyung te yakbo teni soso jilla sem ko tola nyamnyung yakbo yoyona teni ngaso jiktin ga teni shawan so la tartang la teni ngerwa halipa chimbon ro gore ngaso mite pena ngaso tapa mepi ne ko nyamnyung mepi ne ko na ngaso chowan den ri ker ko yore teni tapa yowi jis nyamnyung yobi jis ya ngaso on chowaten di tola jiktin di tola ker ko yore reti yena ngaso ti nawan rawo ta chawani ta mandrawas the
way that we approach the mundane world changes dramatically after we are able to grow in our faith and grow in our realization through meditation. So even though we are facing or we're engaging with the same worldly interface as we were prior to beginning in our practice, ultimately it manifests itself, it appears to us in a completely different way.
teni shanchib ko sem nyangji sherab ti nyamnyong de yakpo mepi kapsa teni nga so mo cho na gari tonir shegare zena ta gormota so mangda teni topda topthangda desu nga so chama teni te tonir shegare tepe karchimbore samne ti tada ka jis nga so ro rez.
So until we've been able to, or before we've really begun to start to generate our compassion, our bodhicitta, our wisdom, then the way that we look upon the mundane world is one where our priorities are really driven by mundane concerns, making money and material things and other kinds of worldly pursuits.
Tani ti jisen rona ngaso pamjorda mangda toptangdang ti jisen ngaso tani rona tani ngaso semte jewe je gotok rene tani ngaso marke ba mambo yung tani sem gotola nyomon ba mambo yung tani dungor mambo yung tani jendong dos.
And if in this state we're really to pursue these things, then our minds become increasingly narrow, our suffering grows, so do our obscurations, and this is ultimately how we develop.
Tani nga zo chu dini shanchib ko sem khabarda zogba chimbo sherab desola nyamnyong pe yakbo dini top yongdi tani korang ka nyamnyong ti nangla tani ti mte ta nyama takbar dini nyamnyong ti nangla tani netapa tani je yongdi tani korang pa sim tani ko yangbo re ne otan jiting ka shawan deso ta yona jigare ta mena jigare samba te donir ta so tola haliba ka tani chu ta sim ko tokbo she anda ta nyumong ba mambo yong ada tani me ba re ne ta par sim par chu pena metok ba man tani khashi wan ra tani je ne par tani sim ko yangbo re ne tani je ndo re.
However, if one is a practitioner of bodhicitta and particularly the wisdom of the Dzogchen teachings and abides in the state of their practice on a daily basis, then in approaching the mundane world, it really doesn't matter what happens. If this happens or that happens, one's mind becomes so wide and expansive, just like a flower opening into full bloom.
Tani ti nyamnyong te korang chi tani njikten jamba dang tani chua jamba zi tani ngosik songa rawo tani yores.
And the experience that derives from this practice basically enables them to commence or enter into a new kind of worldly reality.
Tani ti kapsa nga so mute so la nge tari kona ngongong nga so shaya tere mute so chilan ding na yang te koso gore koso par lo ko yang bo re ne tini da sem ko tola nyomong bare tani chi ti njam ra gon zamba te so re tani nyomong ba te so changma me ban ra wo chang ne sem ko yang mo tini lobo tini re sem la jini par changron ra bo tobni de yong ken ko tini mo tini jen ro re tini nga so chilan ding na yang ta ti nga so lang ti chorwan ra wo yong gore.
And a person who develops in this way becomes so open and becomes so expansive without being troubled by negative emotions and afflictions and troubled by all kinds of attachments. Then just as I said at the beginning of today's teaching, just to be in their presence or to receive a teaching from them, we will receive a special blessing, a special power.
Tani ti kapsa tini ti nipa tela nga so char kandewa japtab ko mare tini telan chanya rukpa kandewa japtab ko mare nga so jiting ko kham ko tini shisha changma yana chanya rukpa kandewa jab go sambate nga so halipa godok ko samlo norwa zures.
And in terms of accessing this kind of power or this kind of benefit, it's not something that we can expect to gain from scientists or the scientific realm or philosophers or philosophy. The idea that these realms would be able to explain or solve everything is in fact a very narrow idea to hold.
Tani ti kapsa tini nga tso ti nipa muk mantong la yang ti nipa ti tani chila yung keng matsang mala yang matsang mala gabo sim gabo da chubo da tani nawa tani kebo matsang mala yang ti korang ka kaja mambo mashit leka mambo malina ti shiki tini matsang mala tani chorwa da sim ga nala tani ter yung goren.
So for a person who is in this state, for others who are beside them, by their sides or in their midst, then even without needing to say much, just being in their presence, they will gain a kind of benefit. They will gain from their presence the energy that they generate, the warmth that radiates from them. And in religious language, we call this blessing or the power of blessing.
Tani ta ola nga tso mentani marshishet. Ta nguji ga tani korata sore ti tangbo tani nga tso kirim ga korata tani shakare ti kirim ga korwanda kali re zena toji re karo re nang tak rig balhar nga chunyit nga yene yenbar shibi tawa tang mabtar gombim di kap girshena tsarchu jisun zilla wang girin zo sone ta nga so kirim ziyati kangrezena nangwa nga so mukum thongwa tamje bom tani chakba jina nga so na thupa ga tani dra ta so tamje tam tani rigba jina nga so sim ga tani te samba o tesori teso chama nga so tarta tani nga so pharwa imbi ne kamna te nga so mukum thona zik tarta te re dayang tani nga so draman da te re reta khocho nelikti Nilik Tonishana, Tindi Mari, Natsu Tartan Ton Mukun Tonatan, Nawa Tubatan, Sim Kusamba de Mubu Koso, Nilik Atsu Tontabuyo Mari, Nientabuyo Mari, Samtabuyo Maris.
So starting at verse 17, the verse beginning with all sights, sound and awareness of deity, mantra and dhammata. So this verse is talking about the generation stage practice. And by sights, we're talking about what the eye can perceive, sound, what the ear perceives, and awareness, the thoughts that the mind generates. Even though we can perceive these at a superficial level in terms of their ultimate essence or their ultimate meaning, when we are in the state of being an ordinary mortal being, we're not able to know this.
Mi sim te kangrezina teni nga so sangi ga teni yishi tang teni chigbare sone teni songore pe na nga so tarta pe na ngaran so semla nyomomba ndo chata jerdang da tumugta te so mambo ke yore te so nga so onil yabo mashipi kaps teni nyomomba ndo chak jerdang zigre ti le mambo sakare le sane nga so jima teni dubo yongre yinna karte nga so ti nil ko tonde yabo toksona tanindo shakda jedang da tumugdang korang so tani sangi gi ishita kyabar mea tenji rez.
So in terms of the Vajrayana perspective, we view every being as possessing a Buddha nature that is equal to that of the Buddha. However, it's on account of not understanding the nature of reality that all kinds of negative thoughts, obscurations arise in us. And on account of not understanding the nature of reality, we accumulate all kinds of negative karma. And as a result of this, encounter lots of suffering as well. So it's really on account of not understanding the nature of reality. This is what basically distinguishes us from our Buddha nature or separates us from it.
Tani teyimbi gemsenji pena nga so sanga dorje takpa nala ngara so rangnit ke liponde tani pena dorje sempa gomjinrada tani yedam tani ramandala tani gomya tani mambo songwa ti gemsen karizena tani nil ke thola nga so rangas tani nawa de so tamje bo tarta ina ngaso marik pitop gitini shinchilok batini mambo nangayore rete to ngubo tokla tini ngaso mi sem zekite tani digbaz mare mergewa mare tani khorang number takba tani pe namkha takba tawa tini je namkha la pe na chen jamra mambo yowi kaps tini ngaso namkha ngombon thongko mare nyaman thongko mare dawa karman thongko mare mare te yena tani chen te so thamchi par par me sona tani namkha khorang number takbare te dang rapore ngaso sim ko ngo sim ko ramjin zati tini yin sone songo yores.
So the reason that we in Vajrayana do practices like Vajrayana practice and other idam practices is because even though we routinely engage in all kinds of negative behavior and do all kinds of unvirtuous and unconstructive things, in actual fact, the essence of our mind, our fundamental essence, is primordially pure. So just as the sky in itself is blue and it's clear, nevertheless it can be obscured by dark clouds. However, if those clouds were to be taken away, or if they were to move away, to dissolve, then the brightness of the sky would emerge of its own momentum.
Teninde ngaso lojong she gore ma to ba tarong ngaso tendi zena chama goa len kona te goa len tabji mare ngaso lojong shene kala he kale lojong shena tini gore tani lojong chi sa go jong pe yakshu ti kang rezena jimchu trawa zena kongdo jimchu trawa te gore jimchu trawa la hi pecha mambu yore ti nani yakshu te kang rezena tani mapam jim mapam ga tani zapize tani kamchi mapam jamso go tani zapi tani sangyang kan jerwa wasar nyangbo oya tani tepe yakshu te tereze tani te tarta boyi yore tani jami ge tani te jai nduse tani inji yang ta te inji yoswa
yore
oya te inji yang nduse te na tani tepe yakshu te tere te la lojong jena te ngaso haliba sarwo yak bol hakores.
Of course, it's just sort of saying a few words about this today. It's really not possible to get a very good understanding. This is something that all of us need to commit time to studying, an appropriate amount of time to learning about, so that we can get a good understanding of. And the absolute best source or the best text that we can really gain a good understanding about this from is probably the Magic Net Tantra and related teachings and commentaries by Mipan Rinpoche. And Khenpo particularly recommends a text called Wurso Nimbo.
Teni te lojong chene teni nyimba teni jangogore yetam ta susurang yetam gang ni ten na chokore yetam ten teni nyimba jang teni shena teni yang aso semde tele yang yargi haleba yang bonro ore ze ngaso gongdo teni ngonro te so chama charwi jis teni yetam pena ngaso parwa donna chokore te jamba yana no tele jamba china chokore ta ngaso pena nyangma rawo ina 망치 쉬고 되니 돌지 퍼와 되니 더 예담 제거래 다 땡이바요 말해서 소소랑 그 강인나 초거래 드리시네 예담 된 되니 님바장 드리신 참라 대선 득tab나 대영아서 하리바가 셈고돌라 야지 양본로래.
So having completed the preliminary practices, then the next thing to do is to turn to the generation stage practice and practice on a particular idam. So in the Nyingma tradition, a very popular and common idam is Doji Purba, but in any case, whatever particular personal idam you may have, to practice on this, to practice the sadhana, if possible, to do a retreat or retreats on your idam will bring immense benefit to your practice.
Chosur shepjang li jim churngkor jib dekhsar martok chosang gni na osur jimi li la wamjur shir zorum tgji tgler tambar riks ta teni nga so kerim da teni gom chawi jini teni zorum da teni gom gore 대나 조름 때라다 망부요래 대나 배나 조바 침보이나 티 조름 그나네 되니 야슈 때리다 조름 그나니 야슈 때니 다 조바 침보래지 된디인디 셔탄티 조름라 망부요래 배나가 저 배나 조낭바 되니 고미야 배나 pardan tikin kholo yena tini yang zorum gna ni zorum yashu chire de ma tsaba ti bena giluk gna la yang yore sarkya gna la gargi gna la ta zorum ko korte pe mambore tini ti zorum te so yang gum thamna pe yabo yore si pansum chobare ndore.
Following the generation stage teachings are the completion stage teachings, and in the Tibetan tradition there are many of these teachings. Each tradition and lineage has its own specific teachings. In the Dzogchen teachings, the Dzogchen practices are the best teachings, but the Jonang and Gelug and the other lineages as well also have their completion stage teachings, and to be able to study this or learn these teachings is a wonderful thing.
Teni zorum de gomgona tet nyota yore te indi tini ngacho pena nyangma la sanlo tana ta mambo zkati zorum ramba shini tini gomgumare kerum gom yetam ge nyimba tang tini she charwi jini tene ko so takar zogba chimbo gomgore zogba chimbo yang tini zorum ge nane nang ti nane chakshu ta ti zangshu chigre te indi nyangma ina tini mambo zkapena the tinkhor kanala yopi zorum rata to so yang the gomkin te nyung res.
In the Nyingma tradition, when it comes to the completion stage practices, they're perhaps not as detailed or as elaborate as the completion stage practices in other lineages, such as the Kala Chakra teaching. So once the generation stage Idam practices are completed, then students move on to the Dzogchen teachings, and the the completion stage practices are encapsulated in these teachings.
Nyingmen balakbar dorkabs tagje jerker wo kinjong kawe yang sal nyang thu nyimi zen chang bam taksam tabden chokin ren ber tani ga cho tartan ra boyena deni mei changma deni semla nyomomba mambo yore deni chowa ga thola yena pamjurda yar gire te mai yo mar nonshig mambo yore te mi sem ti tangen zgune mar tambo tin yong gana pe khabo yore deni mo changma la tichu yang mambo mandu denji yendi ta nga cho jamba geram da zorum da tinji mambo gomna tela chik tini jimji yak boyong te khabo denji yena So
we live in an age where many people, despite having a fairly good material standard of living, nevertheless have a lot of mental pressure. They experience a lot of negative emotions, obscurations, etc. So most people don't have a great amount of time. So if one is to engage in very elaborate generation and completion stage practices with these set of conditions that we have, it's probably not likely that we're going to achieve particularly good results. So it's for this reason that the Dzogchen teachings are particularly suitable for people at this time.
Salam Chichun Jevi, Tanchazan, Jojan, Vitan, Zitangi, Rana Yantir, Perloncho, Zonzum Korum, Mumbayan Sayal, Navjam Tarankul, Pochin worker Tul, Men. Then it's Zobachimbote, then a tap Halipa, tap Dipuresi, then a tap Nyota, then the Mambo, Tapena, Kerm, Dada, then the young Lamambo, Goyan Dada, Young Zorum Gopena, Salungo, Dinichi, Mambo, Tatiso, Yomare, then a tap Halipa, Labosre.
So the Dzogchen teachings are quite convenient and simplified in comparison to the elaborate practices of the generation and completion stage practices in other traditions that require a lot of idam practice or otherwise meditation on winds, drops and channels and the like.
대 있나 원조 뒤서 양 딱바진 저거를 막 똑바 저바 침보 있나 다 원조 마소나 양 반바지지요 말해서.
However, it is extremely important that students of the Dzogchen path properly complete the preliminary practices. This is absolutely essential, and without having done this in a proper way, then it is not possible to gain good results in the higher teachings.
Tani dzogba chimbodi kongo kare tani songo yore zinada kozo pena ngazo shilogla tani ngazo tani sa che merlong yena tani chu zigja zhiro tsulan reshit mambo yabgo yo mareze dzogba chimbo na takar ngazo mi sim tin dinji rezini tani mi sim lan zumu zingni ngocha ke yores.
So the Dzogchen teachings don't spend a lot of time explaining through words the appearances and sounds and sights and thoughts, the various phenomena. The Dzogchen teachings point directly to the essence and to the reality of the mind.
Tani mi sim tini yabo go songdi tini mi sim di kangri yabo go songdi tani nga so sim nang la yo nyomong ban jamada tani sim ga nang la pe na non shik da tani chi tini ga tokba da tani sim sir sim la tani sim digbo yong ta so sama sim ti yabo shi song na tani sama nam kala chen me ba chak ban ro rene men ro yo re.
And once a person realizes the nature of their mind, then obscurations, negative emotions, afflictions, anxiety, worries, they dissolve of their own accord and and mature, become like the sky when it is dispelled of clouds.
Samo mulum mewi nerkabna ngaso mulum mewi nerkabs tani mulum te yimba mashina tani mulum te yimba te korang zimbare rete te ngaso mashina tani mulum te ngaso nyimber ngaso tsuwa nala nguyo kun tsuwa nala shungwe nesir ta chikpa ndawo shene tani ngaso la dungmer mambo yongore yang gawa yang yongore njam mambo yongore zi mulum yimba mashina tani rinduwazi.
So it's just like when we're in a dream but we don't realize that we're dreaming, then all of the various things that are taking place in the dream, even though they're not real, we experience them in terms of their feelings and perceptions and sensations in exactly the same way that we do occurrences in our daily life.
Teni tetan japore ngaso simte teni yakbozo ngo mashina teni sem ganangla teni jikchak mambo yongore toba mambo yongore rewa mambo yongore teni nyomomba mambo kegore ta namgin semte ngaso mare pada manim pada teni tadak marki pada teni tada matok ba sempar geyangboda sempar teni janror tosungman rawo teni te yong topko mareze ngaso semte mashina.
And it's exactly the same with our minds. When we don't understand the essence of our mind or the reality of our minds, then we become afflicted with all kinds of negative emotions, with all kinds of hopes and fears and doubts. It's not possible for our minds to open out in an expansive and vast way.
Tani karte ngaso mulum mojimbi nerkabna ngaso mulum yimbate hako sona tani ta lamsang tani pena ngaso jikchak mambo yongko na jikchak te sangma lamsang tani mebachang ro ndowaze mulum te khona mulum yimba hako sona te mebachang ro res.
It's just the same as if we were to awake from the dream, and upon that instant of awakening we realized that our fears were completely nothing, they were not real in nature, and so it is when we realize the nature of our mind. All of the obscurations and afflictions up until that point dissolve themselves.
Teni tetang raposhini ngaso simde teni korang kusona korang gandizigente yakbozi shisona tani ngaso semnangla teni yopi teni jikchakta dungwarda nyomongba ta teso tamso lamsang chama teni meba teni changro ores garti meba machak nayang teni di teso ngaso la dungwar ka teni terga mare dungwar ter thapga mare se ti nipa de yo mare nipa de meba changro ores.
And again, so it is with our mind. When we realize essentially what our minds are, realize the nature of our minds, then all of those negative mental states immediately dissolve. They cease to have any power.
Tani tendi ti sem gungo zegona te sem korante tenga so sem kumruk ba tendi shi japtap go yo mare kandi ha go yo mare sanyirik ba nga so lo tongchani dal renjo yore tendi shi japtap go yo mare sarik ba ga tewe yang tarong sem zena laba yen na man na kandi yen na tarong ha go yo mare chige yang shi japtap go yo mare.
In terms of the essence of the mind, this is something that psychologists and psychiatrists don't have a conclusive answer in respect of, neither do philosophers. Insofar as scientists are concerned, they're still debating whether or not the mind is the brain, and there's no conclusiveness there either.
Tani ti kapsa nga so sem tendi shine so so rang nyomong ba de so me pare chawi jis tani nga so samla o ta ngi mi chamala tini gimchen to ngi mi chamala lab go ndu mi chama yang tini ta te shi go ndu mi chama te shi sona tini mi chama dungor me pa de yong gore samni tini khorang ko mo chamala te gimchen to par tini shiani tini mo chama yang tini mulum go nang ka saban ro tini che gore tini tela zoba chimbo tok sawi jini tini jantun drivers ke tini zres.
But through realizing the nature of the mind through the Dzogchen teachings and ultimately waking up from the dream and discovering the nature of mind, upon doing this, a person then experiences a very strong desire to share this knowledge with others so that they may too understand the nature of their minds and thus be free of suffering.
Tani dzogba chimbo perna nga so terang rawozala dzogba chimbo tosona tani terang ni ta nyomomba changba mebarin ro orezina tenro mareze tarung yang nyomomba kigrez.
Of course, if we were to say that, oh, today I've realized the nature of reality in the Dzogchen teachings, would this then mean that all of our suffering dissolves immediately, or that no negative thoughts are ever going to arise again? No, of course not. Of course, they will continue to arise.
Tani tok charwi jini tini gumjab go gore gumjab na tini tokba de jevzang ro gore ko yargin ro gore.
After we have realized the nature of reality through the Dzogchen teachings, it's necessary that we stabilize in this realization through ongoing and continual meditation, and then the nature of that realization will continue to deepen and improve in its nature.
Tani perna nga so tarta dzogba chimbo martok pi kapsa nga so la nyomong bada tsu kina sem gna la kina halle ba ni ba chimbo tani sem na la dungor mongbo tani tenkan tenji nishik chimbo chande perna nga so gun gine kapna lakpa hat le ba chimbo yombi ne kapsa tani long jawona tani long te nga so te lita pa par chan ro wan ro phung ro wan ro tani chora yore da dzogba chimbo martok bi ne kapna nga so nyomong ba te tenji zres.
Prior to realizing the nature of our minds, then the various negative thoughts that arise in our mind stream, the various kinds of suffering that we encounter really do cause us to feel an extreme sense of suffering. It's rather like in the middle of winter, being exposed to extremely cold and bracing wind, and the feeling that this generates when it makes direct contact with our skin.
Tani dzogba chimbo tok charwi jini gum jabna tani nerkapsa kandirin ro rezina nyomong bat yo re da yinna tepe na nga so tongkha da shikha ga tani long rawo long yong gore long yong na yang tani nga so ti long ti pakbala ti ragna tani njambo rawo tani ma tok ba tani hali pan khakbu da tani yong thok ma re ta tendra bore nyomong ba che gore da yinna ti nyomong ba di nga so la dungor mangbo da tani However, after we've realized the nature of our minds, then it's rather like being exposed to perhaps the wind or a breeze in autumn or in spring. So, and even though negative thoughts do arise, the suffering and unpleasantness that they engender for us becomes gradually less and less. Tani dzogba chimbo go tani tokba tani rigba ti tani nyomong ba go chok san ro te meba chi ja yo re te indi e korang la ni ba yo mares.
And it's possible through continuing practice for the sources of these negative thoughts and emotions to be completely eradicated so that they are without any effect or influence completely.
Tani tarung montani gomna tani kale ta nyomung bade tsawane meba yang meba tani changjore tani semgonala tapata nyajeta shirabta tenji matok ba tani nyomung bade so tsawane meba changjore.
It's possible to attain a state when we no longer generate any kind of negative thoughts or afflictions whatsoever, and instead all that remains is faith and compassion, bodhicitta and wisdom.
Tani lama daso sama nga tsu ti nyangma ga nani ta tenji ga tola hlep chanken ga mo tenji takdak res.
And these lamas whose pictures on the walls we can see are masters who have arrived at this point in practice.
Tani kongso tani nga tsu tarta zogba jimbo nyamlim shinken tso muhui res nga tso muhui.
And they all serve as our models and exemplars in our practice.
Tani tenji zire tani zogba jimbo te nga tsu nyamlim chia te karte yakbozo yung sona nga tsu tari gona chapa te tenji tsat tenji zila lep gona te matsi mangbo tenji go ma res so so ranga yakbo she tamna matsi ndi tola tenji tsat tenji zila lep tab gres.
And if we are to reach such a standard or such a level in our practice ourselves, it's possible for us to be able to do it in a single lifetime. It's not necessary that we need many, many lifetimes in order to achieve this.
Derkit zhongtsik tumchut nyanga tam loksir jipi nyansik dogman yang torshong longdur ndemkar pangwanda nganje ringzim jipi rangshi la gewanda yi malin rowar nam kawji jartam chokla wamjor jang dagtang jang horo joni nyangstub tang kajik zang jarur makir jik jibanda na janag rawor tsingi yangwan lamchong jang horo joni jarte chibchag chigla zabji chunkur korwi rishsir ngang lochum some pi titsut karma nyeksim ji yin la sharmar fewa gi tani terang atso
So that brings us to the end of today's teaching on the heart essence. Everybody listened so well today, and thank you very much.
Ega nanje walong tamba tibin zo len zo jo shedaran jemba da kanda zamba teyan deja te da genje jeza dala gewan da damje randa shabe jarwa damje wa gawa joda ngaba Nanga Zawan da Zombo Jaja de